We got a barker in here. I don't think he Okay, well, it could be the most misunderstood breed of dogs, and fans of pit bulls are hoping to change that public perception.
Yes, and advocacy groups say the breed is unfairly painted as vicious and unstable, which is clearly not true. They are fun, happy animals, and this is why shelters, though, are overpopulated with these pups that really need love, too.
And I just want to say this barker over here was loving all over me just a little while ago. Very, very sweet and friendly. Just excited to be on TV, right?
He's being a show-up for television.
Well, the City of Albuquerque Animal Welfare Department is hosting a pit bull adoption event on Saturday at the East Side Shelter. And here with the details are Maria Colbert and Felicia Anderson, both with Babes and Bullies. Good morning, Maria and Felicia.
Good morning. Good to have you. Thanks for bringing these little stars with you.
Thanks for having us.
Well, we're excited to have you on here because they do have a bad reputation now. What do you think is the biggest misconception about pit bulls?
I think the biggest misconception is that they can't be with other pets or that they can't be around children. That's a really big misconception we hear about just in general public. At the booth, we are an advocacy group, so we do talk to people quite a bit about proper ownership and what are some of the things that should be expected as a dog owner in general, not just for pit bulls.
Right, and I mean, will you tell us some of the unique characteristics of the pit bulls so that people know? Because there's so many just waiting for a family right now.
Well, they're actually really, really loyal dogs.
Are they?
They're family oriented. As long as they're properly socialized and trained, I mean, they're great. For example, my dog lives with 4 cats, chickens. I foster, you know, I do babies, kittens. His best friend is a cat.
He wants to talk. That's what this is about. You
So
can tell.
it's really more about the upbringing than anything else, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, why do you think there's so many pit bulls that are surrendered at shelters? It seems like there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get these dogs and don't train them, don't socialize them, and they do need a lot. They need a lot of loving. They're very needy dogs.
They are, yeah.
I think another really big thing is you can't own a pit bull in a lot of apartment buildings. So a lot of people who lose their homes, they do not have anywhere to take these dogs. And unless you can afford to buy a new home or find a landlord that's willing to work with you, you're actually stuck between a rock and a hard spot. It's a much harder thing to deal with than just an average dog just because of breed discrimination. So.
Right, and that's a sad thing that they even have breed discrimination, but you know, they want to make sure that everybody is happy within wherever they live and everybody has those rights. But this is a really wonderful opportunity you're offering this Saturday at the pit bull adoption. Can you tell our viewers about it so they can partake?
Basically, with the pit bull adoption, it's going to be running from 10 to 2, a big event.
Okay.
And they're going to have half price on the pit bull adoptions, which is great.
Okay.
They also are doing free pit bull awareness classes.
Oh, I love that.
So people can come in if you're interested or if you're just curious. It's a good idea to come in and educate yourself on what the breed is really all about and what would be a proper ownership standpoint, offering a structured environment, training, socialization, knowing what you're doing versus just kind of doing it on your own.
And would you recommend that for anybody before they get their dog?
I would recommend that for anyone who's getting a dog, period.
Yeah.
You know, when I first got my first dog, I always made sure to go and read up on the breeds and know what I want and figure out what's going to be best for our family, not what's aesthetically pleasing to me.
Do your research.
Right. Now, how many pit bulls are going to be available for adoption right now? How many are out there?
There are 110.
Wow.
At the animal shelter, and
not to mention all the rescues that have pit bulls in their care.
Well, and real quickly, what does each adoption include?
Spay and neutering, microchipping, first set of vaccinations.
Great.
And the adoption fees are actually reduced for this event, so that helps things out a bit too.
Yes, and Paws and Stripes will provide service dogs for wounded warriors. We've talked about that from our military, and that's wonderful. And so is training pit bulls for this very purpose, which says a lot, you know, in favor of this breed, because the service dogs have to have a calm temperament and they have to be smart. And so that's a really big deal. So yeah, so we appreciate that you're doing that and that that's available for all.
And let's tell everyone one more time where the pit bull adoptions is. Where is that located?
It's going to be at the East Side Animal Shelter, which is off of Lomas in between Eubank and Wyoming.
Fantastic.
Okay, great. And there's all the information on your screen right there. And of course, we'll have more on our website, casa.com. Thank you so much, Maria and Felicia, for coming in and bringing your little ones in too. Well, coming up next, stick around. We're kissing hunger goodbye with the Junior League of Albuquerque.
They've calmed down now.